Today I'm going to be reviewing a video of an attorney who lives in Baltimore by the name of New Possibilities. He's a brother I really respect. We've had some back and forth, my time on YouTube, but he's a very smart guy. He is a Kamala Harris supporter, right? He's a big, strong advocate for the Black community, and I want to respect him with that in mind. But I want to review the video that he posted called Donald Trump Won, What the F? Let's check it out, all right?
So today, I woke up to this nightmare that you see in the background. Donald Trump is the projected winner of this election, man. And they're saying that Donald Trump's numbers among Black people doubled since the last time he ran for office. Doubled. And they're also saying that Kamala Harris didn't do as well in urban areas as one would expect. So this is what...
So before I get more into that, whether the Black number doubled, it did in certain cases, like in Wisconsin, I believe North Carolina was one of the states, or Wisconsin was one of the states, where it was like a 13% jump, something like that, right? But you're never gonna hear, and I don't think in this whole situation, him address why it happened. And a lot of Black Democrats, what they do is, if something happens, it's always a shaming tactic as to why it happens and never addressing why she didn't do well or why the Democrats have lost favor with the Black community. I'm pretty sure we're never gonna hear that in this video, okay? We're probably gonna hear a lot of shaming tactics, a lot of doom and gloom in the future, things like that. But maybe I'm wrong. Let's check it out.
So this is what we're waking up to. And I have so much to say about this. So this is probably going to be a long video. It may be a long video. The first thing I have to say is this, man. All these Black people that voted for this man, they're going to live to regret it when this man implements all these policies that are contrary to the interests of Black people. They are going to regret it.
Let's stop right there. They are going to regret it. Okay, so what were the policies that Black people wanted that the Joe Biden administration was willing to give Blacks? Every time Blacks asked for policies, directed towards what the community should get, it was always lumped in with other groups. Reparations was something that was not going to be given, but immigration status or the migrant crisis and the migration that we saw was a big thing on Joe Biden's agenda when he became president. And if you don't believe me, check this out.
In your first 100 days as president, what will you do to create a pathway to citizenship for many undocumented immigrants? That is a big issue for the AAPI community. As you know, 1.7 million face deportation threats. Another 100,000 are young people who are affected by the DACA program.
On day one, I'm going to send a legislative immigration reform bill to Congress to provide a roadmap to citizenship for 11 million undocumented immigrants who contribute so much to this country, including 1.7 million AAPI. My immigration policy is built around keeping families together, modernizing the immigration system by keeping families, unification, and diversity as pillars of our immigration system, which it used to be. Ending Trump's cruel and inhumane policy at the border to rip children from their mother's arms. Take immediate action to protect dreamers, including the more than 100,000 eligible dreamers from East and South Asia. Rescinding the un-American Muslim ban immediately. Restoring refugee admission in line with the values and historic leadership of our country, raising the target to a minimum of 125,000 people a year in my first year. He's cut it down to 15. The average has been 95,000 a year.
And even in Kamala Harris's presidential run, she wasn't willing to include Black people.
So by default, it affects Black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit Black children, Black families, Black homeowners, because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, And we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this. Any policy that will benefit black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No, because whatever benefits that black family will benefit that community and society as a whole and the country, right?
So again, how can you regret something that you were not getting from the current person that you're dealing with? They won't give you anything. And then, like, this is what I'm talking about. Let's give them a chance.
All these black men that voted for this man, and I'm sure there's a substantial number of black men that voted for him. And I'm not going to blame black men for this election result, because we know that black people overwhelmingly voted for Kamala Harris. Over 70% of black people voted for Kamala Harris. And most black men voted for Kamala Harris. So I'm not blaming black men for this result, but for the ignorant minority of black men, the significant ignorant minority of black men that voted for this man, I'm going to ride you like a donkey. I'm going to ride you until the wheels fall off. With every detrimental decision that this clown, this buffoon makes while in the White House, I'm going to ride you till the fucking wheels fall off, man.
Okay, I mean, that's kind of, it sounds a little dittish, but he's not like that though. He's a good guy. Let's talk about, because you made a voting decision. This guy is smart. He's an attorney. He's a very prolific writer. He's an intelligent man. Again, this is what I don't like about some black Democrats. Black men decided to vote another way. So because you decided to vote another way, I want to, quote unquote, ride you. Not like that, but you know, he's gonna come after you, right? But you're not listening to the concerns that black men have. Nobody on the left, and he's an African-American male, he's a black man himself, but you know, instead of understanding why black men are voting differently, or even why Latino people are voting differently, or Puerto Ricans who, you know, hey, they had a bad joke thrown toward them and they were offended and voted differently. Well, then why is that the case? And this is the attitude of a losing party, not trying to be competitive, but we're gonna roast you into coming back onto the plantation with some of these fear-mongering tactics, instead of saying that, hey, we've approached the black community every election cycle doing the same tired thing, bringing out big booty singers and twerking and songs and Beyonce and LeBron. We tried it in 2016, it didn't work. In 2020, we barely got by then, and then we got swept in 2024 because we can't talk to the issues and we don't have anything for blacks. So since we don't have anything for you, if you leave, we're gonna insult you all the time, okay? Let's continue to see what the brother has to say.
That's what I'm gonna spend my, next 4 years talking about. Just how disastrous this man is to the black community. Every example that's made manifest, I'm gonna hold it up in your face and hold you to ridicule and condemnation, because you are the one that made this possible. For instance, if he passes, helps pass laws giving these pigs immunity to kill your black ass, I'm gonna ride you when he makes these decisions.
Let's talk about that whole idea of giving the police immunity. Many people believe the police already have immunity, and that is something that is not gonna happen. If that's the case, that means that if you get caught shooting somebody illegally with body cams, and that's a state by state basis, right? Every state acts independently. So that's not gonna happen. And he might have said that, running for the campaign. That's a political thing. That's not gonna happen. We all know it's not gonna happen. Every state depends on that. And that's not why people voted for Donald Trump in the first place, was for police immunity. Black people already know or believe that the police have a level of immunity no matter who's president as it is. So that wasn't a big selling point, but you want to make this a selling point. And a lot of black women have been doing that too, that because if you vote for Donald Trump, we're not going to help you when they kill you. When if they kill you, you're already dead anyway. So what does it matter?
As he erodes away our civil rights, I'm going to ride you till the wheels fall off. And it's just a shame that you had these grifters on here, these bottom-feeding parasites, these cowards these spineless people that are so craven that they will do damn near anything for white validation. They will do damn near anything for a pat on the head from Mr. Charlie. You people are despicable, man. So I'm gonna ride you till the wheels fall off. And this is a disaster. And for all those leftists that said, well, let me vote third party, you can thank them for this result right here that you see. You can thank them for that result. Now, when Donald Trump gives Benjamin Netanyahu
let's talk about the leftists that voted third party. So Joe Biden was so bad that Democrats said, we're not voting for Joe Biden. We're voting for Jill Stein, which Jill Stein didn't get almost any of the vote, but maybe it was enough of the vote, which it really wasn't. Independent voters, that vote going there, it did kind of hurt her, but not very much. But it just shows that the Democratic Party is imploding because you guys are not good. And only thing that you can deal with if you're a black Democrat is identity politics. You're a black, this person's a black woman, the police are gonna kill you, the police are gonna shoot you. Gunshots! That's all you guys do. And to be fair, it's largely pathetic. And what you're telling me when you talk like this is you're a political party that doesn't want to compete for votes. And you're saying it right now because, look at all of the names that the guy is called. I know he's frustrated and he's pissed off with all that, right? This is an attorney. This is a guy that's smart. And he's passed, graduated law school, bar exams. He's a competitive person. In order for him to get to where he is in life, he had to compete. What about the others?
A pass to escalate the genocide, to make the situation even more diabolical than it is right now. You can thank these third-party leftists, that decided that they're gonna throw away their vote and allow this man to be reelected. They can thank themselves when that genocide escalates, when the death toll climbs even higher than it already is. When this man...
What you can also get from Democrats when they lose, especially the black ones, this is the same tactic that Roland Martin did, okay? When you lose the election, you start hearing the fear of gloom and doom, like all this death is going to come because you voted differently. Now, how much death came between 2017 and 2021? I don't think anybody remember so much violence against blacks, hatred against blacks. If you really want to be serious, between 2008 and 2016, we had all of the racist things, Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, that happened, Tamir Rice, that happened from 2008 to 2016, I believe. That's when the racial tension was really big in America. Those things happened underneath the watch of Obama. Now, Obama is not responsible for that. Well, surely what happened with Obama, obviously he had 8 years, is not what happened in Trump's 4 years. So where's the proof of these things going to happen? Again, this is a person that can't even predict the election outcome, but he can predict the future of doom and gloom. Now, he will admit that he's not God. He's a Muslim man. So he's not omniscient or nor is he omnipotent. So how can he predict these things? He cannot predict these things. And me and him are both pro-blacks. We differ in our opinions. Okay, I've come a long way, and hey, the brother knew possibilities. He would probably admit that I came a long way from where I used to be. But I just disagree with the brother with these tactics. He needs to get back and understand why. Why did we lose? Why did the leftists leave? Why did some of the black community leave? Why did the black men leave? Instead of wanting to punish these black men, what was their issues to try to make a better run for 2028 so you can win? But the Democrats are not concerned with winning, and y'all gonna lose again with this attitude. You cannot attack somebody for 4 years because they voted a different way. That's not intelligent.
When this man, Benjamin Netanyahu, declares war on Iran and the conflict escalates even further than it is right now, you can thank those leftists, those people that had an absolutist position. And to some degree, I understand where they're coming from, but when you see the consequences of...
But hold on, you understand where they're coming from to some degree. Well, what is the degree that you understand where they're coming from? So you can admit, well, yeah, we have some parties that's imploding. But these consequences in which you can't prove are more important than what you already know there's problematic. So that's a little bit of accountability from the guy, but you're not dealing with that because you agreed a little bit and people, or to some degree, but people agreed to it a long ways, a lot of degrees, right? And that's what he doesn't want to deal with, unfortunately, is why did that happen?
Your decision You can only look at yourself in the mirror and blame yourself for what has happened.
Or you can blame yourself and look in the mirror for what has happened and why you guys lost the House, why you lost the Senate, why you had $1 billion in campaign funding. You had every major company in America, every major social media outlet, Facebook is Democratic, YouTube is Democratic, Google is Democratic. You had every reason why you should win, and you lost. You had the House, you had the Senate, you lost every swing state. So who has to look in the mirror? How can you lose and tell somebody who won that they have to look in the mirror? That's not even the right attitude.
Because in these pivotal states like Michigan, which seems like it's going to Donald Trump, when you look at a state like Wisconsin, which seems like it's going to Donald Trump, you have to blame yourself for this result.
How can they blame their self for this result when you guys lost the state? What kind of mentality is this? You guys had those states. You lost them. You lost them by a lot. You lost every swing state. So how does somebody blame their self when you guys lost? I just don't get this. I don't understand this mentality. And I'm going to be honest. If this is the mentality of a lot of people in Black America, no wonder why we are not developing as a community as much as we should. Because I'm going to tell you what's happening. A lack of accountability. If I ever lose something or I'm not doing good, I got to go back and look at why and be honest with myself. Okay, we lost because we're out of touch with voters. We're out of touch with Black men, or we're out of touch with Black women. We did it, not the people who voted away and lost. It's not their fault. Imagine Apple start declining in sales and they get on here like this guy and blame somebody. Well, you know what? The next product that you're gonna buy is gonna be way worse and way terrible. You're gonna regret your decision. No, a company that's supposed to stay in business will go out and try to improve and get better.
And the fact that this man has won, like at least according to this projection, and I hope and pray that this is some kind of glitch in the matrix.
No, it's not.
And this is wrong.
It's not.
But if it isn't, this is a disaster, man. It is a pure disaster.
Okay, he's saying the same thing. Shout out to the brother. I really like New Possibilities. Again, you know, I will never insult him, but I've done interviews with him. He's a great guy. We just disagree here. Okay, he's a very intelligent guy. He's a prolific writer. I read his blogs. He's a very good mind, and on many things we agree with in the Black community. As pro-Blacks, we agree with a lot of stuff. Not this one though. Okay, and respectfully, I believe what the brother needs to do is to, instead of shaming the community that decided to go whatever way it went, can we understand why it happened? Like, we need to start understanding why people feel the way they do. And I can see that from a mile away, man. I've been, you know, the last 3 election cycles, we've seen people think drastically differently towards the Black Democratic Party, and them not doing enough. All right. So what do Blacks get for their votes? And if we can't address that, then all you guys are gonna do is throw Blacks more towards Republicans, more towards to the right, or to independents. The Democratic Party is in shambles right now, okay? Because you guys have lost 2 out of the last 3 elections, and this one hurts. It hurts bad. For a guy to have a 48% approval rating and to have all these felonies and he still wins, that just goes to show you that you didn't have a candidate that was good. And that's your fault as a party. You gotta stop expecting Black people to accept trash when it's there. And with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris' administration, it was trash. It was trash. If you want to say in comparison to Trump, it's probably less trash. If you want to even go that route. If you want to call Trump, he's trash. Okay, well then Joe Biden and them is more. He's less than that. And so people, some just said, I'm not going to vote at all, or I'm taking the lesser 2 evils, or we trust Donald Trump can get it together. And that's your fault. You guys lost the opportunity. You guys lost it. And with Democrats that have this particular entitlement and voice of opinion towards people, you guys are going to lose more people. That beating people, browbeating people into believing what you want, it doesn't work, bro. All right, guys, we're out. Peace.